All right, welcome to the runningrestaurants.com podcast, where we bring you the tips, tools, and techniques you need to make your restaurant more profitable and successful. I'm your host, Jamie Oikel, and today we've got a quick session with text messaging tips that you can use right now during COVID. So joining me is Jeff Cheney, the owner and founder of InfiniteVIP.biz. Jeff is an industry leader with restaurant technology with a specialized focus on mobile marketing and loyalty systems. Over the last decade, he's worked with thousands of small business operators all over, as well as their 10 million plus customers. So, Jeff, welcome. You're in California. How are things there? What do you got?
Hey, thanks for having us. Really appreciate being on with you. California, seemingly is good. We seem to be weathering the storm well.
Yeah, you guys probably were I'm definitely one of the first to lock down and are really seeing the benefits of that. So that is good to hear. And hope it continues. And I so many question marks for restaurants, but let's talk about text, because I think there's a lot that folks can do now. And certainly in normal times, I love text messaging marketing for restaurants. So many things to talk about, but even right now where we're sitting with takeout delivery options, folks are in between. There's a lot of things they can do right now. So what are some of your thoughts, some of your recommendations? What do you think?
Well, I mean, it's interesting the way that this came up. You and I were talking about communication and the systems and tools that restaurants and a lot of different types of industries can leverage to be communicating with their customers right now. And it really does not matter if you are open or closed or furloughing staff or limited operations or whatever. The key is communication right now. Everyone needs to know what's going on with your business, or they're going to assume that you're not in business. So social media has been a powerful platform for everyone, but social is very, very saturated. And not everyone is following you on social. So text is that method of communication that the way I like to explain it to people is, it's the way you communicate with your family. It's the way you communicate with your friends. You text. And for a business or brand to be on that same level with their customers is extremely powerful and effective. It really does open up kind of that two-way dialogue between a brand and its customer, and it helps everyone know what's going on. The throughput is 98% read rate, which if you compare that to email or anything else, it's insane. So
that's not true. Nobody has their phone sitting right next to them the whole time, and nobody reacts as soon as it goes beep and picks it up. If that thing beeps, man, it's like people they want to know what that is, right? And then the reaction to it, like you said, 90% will see it. And I'm hoping that it never becomes the day that my text is just loaded with so much that I desensitize to it, because I do look for priority communications there versus email is not as prioritized. Right. And that's one of the things we touched on earlier. And so for restaurants to have that relationship with text, you really can get deeper. So how can they build a list now if they don't have it? How could they grow their list right now with takeout stuff? What are the tools you guys seeing? What are people doing that are successful? What do you think?
Sure. Well, let's tackle some misconceptions first. The number one thing is that you're not texting everyone. You're not texting anyone. You're only texting those who asked for it. So you as a consumer, you're never going to have your inbox inundated with unwanted text messages because you're always in control. You opt in because you love this brand. You requested to be a part of their communication, and you can opt out at any time by just replying stop. So Number one is you can only text the people who ask for it. So typically you're going to see that the database is smaller than, say, your email list or your social media following, because people just give that out flippantly. But your text database, people are very conservative with giving out their phone number. They only want very specific high priority messaging through text. So that's number one. Number two is that when texting, you aren't going to be sending out messages that are unvaluable. You only want to push out communication that has meaning to me as a consumer, something that I'm going to find useful. And because of that, you get very, very low opt-out rate because everyone appreciates what they're receiving. They're not getting junk. They're getting things that are relevant and timely, and in some cases even valuable monetarily, like a discount or a promotion.
Go ahead. Yeah. So I was just going to stop you there. I was thinking about the inflow of messaging. Yeah. I don't want to get a bore. If it comes in a text, I really, really do want it to be an important message. So talk about frequency. I mean, you can talk about it now as it relates to COVID, but you could also go beyond that when we're in normal times. Should you be texting 2 times a week, 2 times a month? But what do you think about in both cases, now and later?
So now and later, now is you need to have some consistent communication with everybody. And especially if you're open, you want to let them know as things change. This is really important. So like hours of operation. If you change your hours of operation and someone tries to do business with you and finds that you're closed, that's friction. That creates a negative experience. So anytime you have a major change, you want to communicate those things. Typically what we see restaurants doing across the industry, and this is not related to COVID, is about 4 to 6 text messages a month. So this is not an every day, every hour type of thing. It's a couple of times a week at most. And what they're doing is they're communicating things that they think are going to be most valuable to their audience, whether that's a special that day or a change in operations or a change in menu item, something of that nature. So frequency is important to maintain consistency over time and just kind of set the expectation to your consumers of what you're going to do with this program, the types of offers you're going to communicate, and the frequency. What you don't want to do, you don't want to ask for their phone number, get permission to market to them, and let 6 weeks go by before you send your first message, because then it is going to come across a bit like unrequested or kind of as a shock, like, man, when did I sign up for this? Consistency is very important with text messaging.
Yeah, hopefully there's a bounce back right away, a confirmation that you got on the list, maybe an offer right away to jump back in the next 7 days.
Always.
That sort of thing is obviously good, best practices. What about the actual list building process itself? Again, think about right now. Someone is trying to build a list to communicate. How could they get folks onto a text list? Is there a promotion, a giveaway? What are some ideas?
Sure. Well, there's 3 mechanisms to actually join a text database, but the incentive to join or the reason to join is really important. So if I forget to mention that, remind me of it. I'll hit on the 3 first. First, the most common method of joining is a text call to action, as we call it. So this is where you might have heard a radio commercial or seen a billboard of some sorts that says, text Johnny's to 31578. That's promoting your database. And then you'd give your hook. You would say, text pizza to 31578 to join my mobile VIP program and receive, a free slice of pizza or something of that nature. So that's the number one call to action. That's what you see a lot of and hear a lot of on media. The other method is the online intake. And that's where, you have a typical subscription form on your website that says, enter your name, enter your email, enter your phone number, and check a little box that says, yes, I give permission to market to me. When they hit submit, that phone number will go into the same database and can be used the same way. Then the third is something that's very unique to Infinite VIP. Infinite VIP has a tablet intake system that can be displayed in location. So this is going to have a limited applicability as it relates to restaurants today. But as we come out of this and as customers start coming into your location again, this is by far the most effective way to build a text database over time. And that is by having this tablet facing the customer, especially in a quick serve environment. Customer walks in, walks up to the counter, places their order, and they're instructed to always enter their phone number to receive their loyalty rewards reward points. So they enter their phone number and it says, hey, you've joined the loyalty rewards program, only 5 more check-ins to receive your free appetizer. So that becomes kind of a punch card type reward and incentive to provide their phone number and also provide the check-in with each visit. It gives us really valuable data because now we can remarket to customers based on their frequency, now that we know what their frequency is. But also it increases the opt-in rates over traditional methods like text in to join by over 500%. So you're going to grow your list far, far faster by having the loyalty tablet at your place of business. Those are the three main methods of joining.
Yeah, I find that in that scenario where you're talking about where I'm kind of in control, like the tablet is facing me, and I'm just kind of waiting for something else to happen, and I'm reading maybe a couple of sales benefits to joining the list, and I'm just like, yeah, boop, 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 you know, how about 10 digits, and I'm in, right? So pretty simple. The other, you maybe you can clarify or know the answer to this. I don't know off the top of my head. Another spot where you give your phone number is, you know, into waitlist management, right? Hey, what's your phone number? So I can text you when it's ready, and you can walk around the mall or whatever, right? And so maybe they have to do two things. Maybe they can text you that your table's ready, and then do a message that says, "Do you want to join our loyalty club?" Because those are maybe two separate things. Am I right? Wrong? What do you think?
They are two separate things. I mean, to get permission to send somebody a appointment reminder of sorts, that's basically what it is. Waitlist opt-ins are not permissions to remarket. Mm-hmm. It's give me your phone number, I'll let you know when your table is ready. That's really the extent of the permission you've received at that point. That's not a formal opt-in for marketing purposes.
Okay.
So if that's how you're collecting phone numbers, you do need to have a follow-up message that says, if you'd like to receive ongoing specials and alerts from, you know, insert brand name here, reply yes. And then that would opt them in and actually send them their full confirmation message. Because compliance is a big deal in this industry. I mean, we all know how personal our cell phone is. We never want to receive anything that we didn't really intend to or specifically request. And respecting that is critically important. That's what keeps the industry thriving the way that it is that it's well regulated. So having proper opt-ins, making sure that they receive the right message, the welcome message, making sure that they know how to opt out if they want to. And that's a simple reply stop to end call to action in the welcome message. Things of that nature are really important.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Correct me if I'm wrong. Something I think you mentioned in the past, and I've seen other folks do, is use text message process once they're in this thing to generate feedback, reviews. Do you guys do that as well or no?
Oh, absolutely. So that's one of the neatest features that we have kind of integrated into the Infinite VIP program, is that because we know when somebody visited your store when using the loyalty tablet, we can trigger a message to go out to that customer a dynamic amount of time after. So let's just say 2 hours after their first visit. And we want to make this message very personal. And we want it to sound like it's coming directly from the owner or the manager or the operator of the restaurant, and say, hey, I'd love to get your feedback on your experience at my restaurant today. Would you mind writing me a quick review? Now, that message has a link included in it. And when they click that link, they'll be able to select a star rating, 1 through 5, and write a review. They submit the review, and our system takes over from there. They get a thank you message, appreciate it. But at that point, our system looks at the review and says, okay, is this a 5-star good review? Great, let's automatically share this review on the website and in a variety of other places. But if it's a bad review, let's just say it's a 1-star. Well, what that does, our system does, is it automatically alerts the operator that there's a negative review or a negative customer experience that needs to be dealt with immediately. And what this does is it empowers business owners to hear about incidences or bad experiences before it goes public. They're intercepting those negative reviews and dealing with it one-on-one. Now, does it stop somebody from going to Yelp and writing a bad review? No. But does it oftentimes diffuse the situation?
Right.
Absolutely. Because now the person who had the negative experience goes, heck yes, I'll let you know. I'll let you know my experience. 1-star, negative review. They write it up. When that message comes in and the owner gets back to them and says, I'm so sorry to hear about your experience. Let me make this up to you. Free appetizer next time you come in, or, I'm going to address that and follow up with you immediately. Now that they've been heard, that's what most consumers really want, is they just want to be acknowledged and have it made up to them, or for somebody even just to say sorry that you didn't have a good experience. We'll do better. Will they go much further than that as far as like trying to drag your brand through the mud? Not really, not commonly.
Yeah, listen, if you can, you said diffuse, solve, and resolve, really, People aren't looking for a free meal. They're not looking for a $100 gift card because you messed up their $5 sandwich. They want to be recognized. They would love it to be, fixed and addressed, and for you to say sorry. And those are the things they're looking for. If you don't do those things and you don't do them on a timely basis, you do risk somebody really, beating you up over, a missed anchovy on a pizza, or sometimes something small can turn into something big. And if you have a chance to address it, you can. So, all right, as we start to wrap up, parting thoughts as to where we are now, today, in the future, and also where folks can go to find out more about you guys.
Look, here's what I'd recommend everybody does, is you need to maintain communication. So if you are a brand that intends to still be in business on the other side of this, or you're currently open today, build your list. Where is your list of customers, your loyal followers that you're going to be able to leverage and communicate with, and who are going to help you thrive in the midst of this and on the other side of it? If you don't have a list, you need to start building one immediately. This is going to be gold. You could literally call this a currency of some sort, because having permission to engage hundreds and hundreds of local residents around your community who love your brand, who love your food, is worth money. It's like an ATM. You can push a button and produce income. A few strategies that I've seen restaurants using and that I really like. One, they're promoting gift card sales through their text campaign. So they can say, hey, we may not be open, but we'd really appreciate your support. You can purchase gift cards here for future dates. They include a link in the text message. Revenue comes in. So this is a way that a restaurant can produce income immediately. And I have some resources available that I can provide to everybody on good gift card solutions out there that are no cost to them to use. They only pay a small percentage when a transaction goes through, like when a gift card gets purchased. The other thing is that I'm not looking to capitalize on this situation that we're all in right now. I mean, we want to offer this texting functionality that we're talking about, which is extremely easy to set up and very, very easy to learn how to use on an ongoing basis, 100% free to restaurants that are affected. So if anybody wants to start building their list today, they can reach out to us on infinitevip.biz, B-I-Z, and that's infinite without a E on the end. And I hate to make it complicated, but we'll include the link in this post. 100% free. There's no cost to get the program, and there's no cost to use the program as long as we're in the midst of all of this. I don't really have a hard set date on how long I'm offering it for free, but I anticipate it being well past June into July, most likely. My goal is to equip restaurants and brands to start building this list, communicating with their customers, and giving everyone the best chance possible to thrive. And hopefully we can do some business together down the road, but we're not worried about that right now.
Yeah. I appreciate that. And folks, I would take advantage of that if you're not set up to do it. So we will include the link to the website below for sure, in the show notes for sure. And to echo your point, I mean, list building is gold. If you're not in charge of your list, man, like your wait, it's what's the phrase I used to use? It's like that hope and pray. Like you open the doors at noon and you're just waiting for someone to show up versus being able to drive them in. Imagine the corollary of having 500 people on your text list and 5,000 people on an email list. Like you need to know that data. So I really do echo the importance of this process. So build your list methodically over time, every day. Every opportunity you have, do that. I absolutely agree with that. So, folks, that was Jeff Chaney of Infinite VIP. Go to their site, sign up for that great offer. Appreciate that, sir. InfiniteVIP.biz, so B-I-Z. And for more great operations, marketing, people, service tips like that, as well as tech stuff. And of course, the ongoing COVID coverage, we're going to continue to give that. Stay tuned to us at runningrestaurants.com. Thanks, Jeff. We'll see everybody soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, Jamie. I appreciate everything you're doing.
Thanks, man. All right. Bye, folks.